Hi, welcome back to the lesson on Pathophysiology of Pneumonia. The objective of this lesson is to learn about the pathophysiology of pneumonia. I first split this medical term into two, pathology and physiology. Pathology is the study of microorganisms causing any disease. So, here we learn about why does pneumonia occur. Physiology is the study of mechanisms operating within any organism. And so here we learn about how does pneumonia occur. In all, we're going to learn about the disease mechanism of pneumonia. Before we get into the details of the disease state, let's first try to understand the normal anatomy and physiology of lungs. Our lungs resemble the form of a tree. Yes, you heard it right. Lungs resemble trees. They have parts similar to trunk, branches, and leaves. Bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli are the parts of a lung which branch out just like the knowledge tree of Khan Academy, where the trunk is called the bronchus, the branches are called bronchioles, and the leaves are called alveoli. But here the only difference is that this tree is not erect and it is slightly tilted into the lungs. Let's have a closer look at the tiny sacs called alveoli. Generally, oxygen we breathe in through our nose moves into these alveoli and subsequently it moves into our bloodstream. Consider these little white colored molecules moving into the alveoli as oxygen. Carbon dioxide moves out of our bloodstream into the alveoli and then it moves to the outside through our nose. These tiny blue colored structures are the carbon dioxide molecules. The oxygen and carbon dioxide movement in the lungs is what keeps us alive. Breathing is important, but protecting our body from invaders, very, very important. That is, our frontline soldiers get into action whenever our body is attacked by germs. The defense mechanism of lungs comprises of cilia and antibodies. So let's play some cricket here. If cilia are bats, hitting the germs as balls, each sixer is likely to throw the germs out of the body through cuffing. Antibodies are like this little yellow Pac-Man. They keep eating the microorganisms and they prevent the disease. Here you can see the bacteria as round balls colored in green. The viruses have a spiked body. The fungi are colored in brown. And the worm-like long structures are the parasites. You can also see this hungry Pac-Man gobbling up all the microbes. If these defense mechanisms are impaired due to illness, age, or fatigue, our body loses the fight against these microbes. Then, these happy microbes multiply rapidly and pass from the tubes into the alveoli. This triggers an inflammatory reaction which generates a lot of infectious fluid composed of dead microbes, dead antibodies, and fluid from the adjacent blood vessels. This fluid now blocks the movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide, making it difficult to breathe. So finally, after a long war, the name of the defeat is pneumonia. Now let's look at why pneumonia actually occurs or what causes this disease. Pneumonia frequently starts as an upper respiratory tract infection that moves into the lower respiratory tract. As discussed earlier, it is caused due to microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. The bacterial infection can occur via aspiration or via air. Most bacteria enter the lungs via small aspirations of organisms residing in the throat or the nose, and half of normal people have these small aspirations during sleep. While the throat always contains bacteria, potentially infectious ones reside there only at certain times and only under certain conditions. A minority of types of bacteria such as Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Legionella pneumophila reach the lungs via contaminated air droplets. Bacteria can also spread via the blood. Viruses may reach the lung by a number of different routes, that is, eyes, nose, and mouth. Respiratory syncytial virus, for example, is contracted when people touch contaminated objects and then they touch their eyes or nose. Other viral infections occur when contaminated air droplets are inhaled through the mouth or through the nose. Let's sum it all. The failure of defense mechanism causes an inflammatory reaction which hampers the movement of air and causes pneumonia.